Hello, students. Again, we are back here, and this time the chapter number 2, human reproduction, I am going for it. But before that, I just want to tell you one thing that each and every type of the chapter, whatever is coming in front of you, there are some questions and answers also present, and these question and answers are very important for you. If you want these questions and answers, it will be updated after 2 days. Just like as example, in the first chapter, sexual reproduction in flowering plants, if the chapter is already published, tomorrow on Sunday, the question and answers is going to be put as a PDF in a description part. So, not taking so much of the time, I'm going to start this chapter, human reproduction. Human reproduction actually is a very important part and important chapter where the question are arises in a large way. So human reproduction, there are six events. As you already seen here, there are six events. The first event is gametogenesis. It means there are six events and these events also have some other criteria. So first one is gametogenesis, formation of gametes. Number second is insemination, transfer of semen, in which female genital tract is used. The third one is fertilization, as you here see. The fertilization in where the male gametes fuse with the female gametes and form a zygote. The fourth one is gestation. The gestation is an embryo development. Sorry. Before that, implantation. That is blastocyst attached to uterus. Now next one is gestation, embryo development, and the last of this thing, delivery of the baby. Now the next one is male reproductive system. If we go for the male reproductive system, it consists of three parts: testis, accessory gland plus duct, and external genitalia. If we go for the testis, separately we will introduce these things, that where the testis is and what the type of the characteristic of testis. Before that, accessory glands and duct is different. The glands are retetestis, vasa frantia, epididymis, vas deferens. And if we go for the duct, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, perbourethral gland. These are the duct. Whether it is of five ducts, I will explain it in the further way. The third one is external genitalia, which is penis, as you already know. So go for the third part, testis. Actually, it is covered. Testis is actually covered by a thin, a very thin of uh, testis is actually covered by a very thin part of a membrane, and that membrane is called as a scrotum. Now the scrotum outside temperature is less, 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius less than the body temperature, because sperm become active at below temperature than the body temperature. The testis consist of 250 compartment, 250 compartment per testis, and these compartments are called as the testicular lobule, which contain a highly coiled seminiferous tubules. Inside it, seminiferous tubules are there. Now this seminiferous tubules is actually made up of two cells. One cell is a male germ cell, another is a Sertoli cell. Sertoli cell is actually giving the nutrition to the male germ cell, and this giving nutrition to male germ cell create a process, spermatogenesis, and because of this spermatogenesis, spermatogonia is produced. But what happens outside the seminiferous tubule? Outside the seminiferous tubule, interstitial spaces are there. Because this interstitial spaces is made up of interstitial cell, and this interstitial cell is also called as a Leydig cell. Why? Because it secretes and synthesizes one hormone, and that is called as an androgen. So here the testis part is over. Now the next part is male accessory duct. As you see, I will make it very clear and easy so that you can understand. Whenever the seminiferous tubule secrete the sperm, it opens and goes to the rete testis and then to the vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia, when it reaches the vasa efferentia and leave the vasa efferentia, it leave the testis also. So there is a question arises from where the testis is left for the sperm. You have say vasa efferentia. Now, when the vasa efferentia opens into epididymis and epididymis transfer the sperm to vas deferens. Here in vas deferens, seminal vesicle transfer the seminal plasma to the vas deferens where it combines with the sperm and form a semen and then transfer it to the urethra. When it transferred to the urethra, it goes to the ejaculatory duct. As you already know, ejaculatory duct is the external genitalia, which we called as a penis for the male. This penis has an opening, and that opening is called as the urethral meatus. Urethral meatus is actually a opening. It also covered by one fleshy skin, and that skin is called as a prepuce. So from here the male accessory duct is completed. Now the next one, the sixth part is the male accessory gland. This male accessory gland is actually of, I already told you, it is of three types. But here I explain it to you, it is of five types. Number one, ampullary gland. Number second, seminal vesicle. Number third, prostate gland. Number four, bulbourethral gland. And number five, urethral gland. So ampullary gland is actually a storage chamber of a sperm. The storage chamber of a sperm is actually an ampullary gland. Now the second one is actually a seminal vesicle which produce a fluid that make the semen and protect the semen. It also create the semen and also protect the sperm from destroying or some type of the infection. Now, prostate gland, the function of this prostate gland is to produce the sperm, ejaculating, make PSA. PSA, prostate specific antigen. Now the next one is bulbourethral gland. This bulbourethral gland is actually lubricating the urethra. It makes the urethra portion lubricating, means something slippery type, and the urethral gland is actually used for lubrication and contributing sperm. From here you already know there are many questions arises. What are the male accessory glands? How the male accessory duct helpful for transferring the sperm? Many questions. I already written the question. I will told you in the further. Now the next one is female reproductive organ. The female, here from here the male part is over, only the spermatogenesis is left. So when I started the gametogenesis, I will tell you about the spermatogenesis. Go for the female reproductive organ. Female reproductive organ is actually consist of pair of ovaries, number second accessory duct, number third oviduct, uterus, cervix, vagina, this four part, and then external genitalia. So starting from the ovaries, actually the ovary is covered by a skin called as a germinal epithelium, a cuboidal type of a cell, germinal epithelium, which actually ovaries is a female sex organ and produce a gametes and hormone. The ovary is made up of outer and inner part. The outer part is called as a peripheral cortex and the inner part is called as a medulla. Now the second part, as you already know, after completing the ovary, the second part is oviduct, that is accessory duct. So oviduct is made up of three things: infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus. It actually a part of a fallopian tube. So infundibulum is a funnel shaped like structure which consists of small type of projection, a finger like projection called as a fimbriae. Actually fimbriae is used to catch the ovum when the ovulation happens. When the ovary release the ovum, it is catched by the finger-like projection of membrane and transfer it to the funnel shape. When it transfers it to the funnel shape, the next portion is ampulla, which is a portion of a tube that send the ovum to the isthmus. So why ampulla isthmus? There is a one junction. That junction where the ovum wait for the sperm. This junction is called as the fusion junction. Now, what is isthmus? The last portion of the tube, because the after completing the isthmus portion, it reaches to the uterus. Now, the next part is uterus, as you already know. Uterus is also called as a womb, garb kaha jata hai ise actually. It's also called as a womb. Uterus consists of a cervix, and this cervix also called as a canal. That canal is called a cervical canal. But when we combine the cervical canal with a vagina, then it is called as a birth canal. So uterus actually consists of a three walls. The three wall is number one endometrium, number two myometrium, number three perimetrium. Endometrium actually started the cyclic change due to menstrual cycle. Mm, Myometrium. So the second part is myometrium. Myometrium actually used to contract, relax. Why? Because there is a hormone releasing is called as a relaxin and oxytocin. So oxytocin and relaxin also releasing for contraction and relaxation of a middle layer, that is myometrium. Now the perimetrium. Perimetrium actually the outer layer of a serous made up of serous cells. So the outer layer, which is made up of a serous cell, actually secrete the lubricating fluid, which reduce the friction. Now, overall, the uterus is actually made up of a three layer, which is endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium. Then the next part is female external genitalia. This external genitalia is actually the combination of four part: mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, and hymen. So this mons pubis is actually a fatty tissue which is covered by a pubic bone. If we go for the labia majora, it's actually a large, very large fleshy fold tissue. Actually, it protects the external genitalia from shocks and absorption. And this labia minora is actually small because the inner fold surrounded by a vagina and urethra opening. So minora is actually a small inner fold which is surrounded by vagina and urethral opening. Now the next one is hymen, a very thin piece of a tissue which is located at the opening of a vagina. Very thin piece of a tissue. It is opening part of a vagina, hymen. Now the next one is mammary gland. I already shown you here very clearly. Mammary gland is actually a paired. They are in pair, and it is started from the mammary lobes. It goes to mammary alveoli. There are many alveoli also there, which create a mammary tubules. Mammary tubules form mammary ducts. Mammary ducts become the lactiferous duct from where the milk is secreted. So बहुत खास questions नहीं पूछते हैं, not very so serious type of the questions, only some type of the things which are present like lobes, alveoli, tubules, these type of the questions are coming. Now we reaches to the still the part 1. The part 1 is gametogenesis. In gametogenesis there are two types of the gametes. So genesis is also two types. Number one spermatogenesis, number second oogenesis. So firstly spermatogenesis. Actually it is the process of the formation of sperm. That's why it is called as a spermatogenesis. How it is formed? Clearly I will tell you with the help of the example. Firstly, the mother cell spermatogonia, which is diploid in structure, do the process of mitosis. When it do the process of mitosis, it created two cell. Mitosis increase the population. So it created two cell. These two cells are called as a primary spermatocytes, which further do a process called as a meiosis 1. Now this meiosis 1 actually do the process. Because of this meiosis 1, chromosome number become reduced. So here it is formed secondary spermatocytes, which is haploid, actually haploid. Then this haploid do the process of meiosis second, and meiosis second form four spermatids. So from one single spermatogonium, they form four spermatids. This can differentiate and form sperm. So this is the process of a very easy process of spermatocytes. So spermatogenesis creates a sperm. So it is very important to understand the structure of sperm. The first part of the sperm is head. The second part is neck. Third part is a middle piece, and the fourth part is tail. Actually, we have not included the neck in any type of portion. That's why we included head, middle piece, and tail. So, starting from the head consists of a plasma membrane, outer layer, acrosome, a liquid part, nucleus, the main criteria of a chromosome material which we send to the female, and fuses with the ovum also and form a zygote. The middle part consists of a mitochondria which gives the energy. I will tell you, explain every part. And the tail portion is the last portion. So starting from the plasma membrane, actually plasma membrane contain a small amount of a cytoplasm with a high level of polysaturated fatty acid. Actually it is polyunsaturated fatty acids. Now if you go for acrosome, it is very important because 40 to 70% contain proteolytic enzyme which helps to destroy the outer layer of a egg cell. The outer layer of a egg cell is destroyed by the help of acrosome. Then it enters inside. And the third part is a nucleus. Actually, nucleus consists of 23 chromosomes which enter into the egg cell, fuse with the nucleus of egg cell. And the mitochondria actually provide the energy to sperm so to reach the egg cell because it is 6 to 12 micron in length. Which one? The neck means the middle portion. And if you go for the tail, the length of the tail is actually 50 mm. The speed, it is very important. The speed of a sperm is 3 millimeter per minute. And this tail is also called as a flagellum. From here, the structure of a sperm is completed. So we go for the next one, that is oogenesis. Oogenesis is actually the formation of a oocytes, oogonia, that is ovum, formation of ovum. So starting from there, the 46 number of the chromosome is present in the mother cell, and this just like as example, if I said about the spermatogonium, this portion is called as a oogonium. This oogonium do the process of mitosis, and when it do the process of mitosis, it forms a daughter oogonium. It forms a daughter oogonium, which is also 46 because it do the process of the same as a mitosis to increase the population. When it grow, it form a primary oocyte. And listen it very carefully. From the portion of oogonium to the portion of primary oocyte, it will develop. This will happen before the birth. Actually, not before the birth, at the fetal stage it is already happened. But when any girl become mature, the primary oocytes do the process of a meiosis 1 division. Listen it very carefully. Primary oocyte do the process of meiosis 1 division after maturation, matlab after puberty, and creates secondary oocytes. Create a secondary oocyte because meiosis divide and reduce the chromosome. Now first 23 form a polar body and the second 23 form a secondary oocyte, which is very important. The polar body is released and degenerated. The secondary oocytes is now used further. Here this is the puberty part. But when it do the fertilization, the secondary oocyte do the meiosis second division and reaches to the second part of a ovum, and the formation of ovum is actually here the secondary polar body is also formed. So meiosis to create a ovum part. Now when a ovum is completed, follicle stimulating hormone is released, follicle is formed, primary follicle, secondary follicle, Graafian follicle, and the last of the moment you already know, ovulation. So this is the oogonia. Now the next one is menstrual cycle. Very important, very important. Menstrual cycle is actually the combination of a three phases. Number one phase is menstrual phase. Number second phase is follicular phase. Number third phase is luteal phase. Now menstrual phase is actually take place 3 to 5 days because here no menstrual flow is there. Ovum, if fertilized, no menstruation taking place. But before that, I would like to tell you, menstrual cycle is the cycle happen between menarche and menopause. Menarche is actually the first menstrual cycle happened in the life, and menopause is the part when menstrual cycle from the whole body already stopped. So menarche happened at the age of puberty and menopause at the age of old. Now the second one is follicular phase. The first day of the period, it will happen. Follicle stimulating hormone is secreted from pituitary. 50 to 20 follicular by ovaries is happened. Healthy egg, healthy egg become mature. The healthy egg become mature and it lasts for the 16 days. It lasts for the 16 days. खत्म हो जाती है 16th day में. At this time, LH surge, actually LH, luteinizing hormone, is secreted at the top level, and here the ovulation will happen. The Graafian follicle become breasted and releasing the ovum, and this ovum is going to the luteal phase. Now, this luteal phase is actually because of LH surge due to the high ovum released. Uterus lining become thick to implant. Pregnancy will happen, and pregnancy happen increase the HCG production. The HCG, human corticotropic growth hormone, so this produce and make the lining thick. But if no pregnancy is there, the releasing Graafian follicle, which becomes a corpus luteum, will shrink, decrease the estrogen and progesterone level, and the lining becomes shed. Shed means cut off, and then the menstrual flow will happen. Pause the video, listen me very carefully, and try to repeat the video so that it will understand. So to understood this type of the video, you have to rewind the video and again try to focus on my words, what I am telling. So during these things, the full menstrual cycle I will have to show you, because sometime the question will arises in a circular cyclic manner. So what will happen at that time? In day 1 to 7, menstruation will happen. Very least fertility is happening. Day 8 and 9, possibly to conceive. Day 10 to 14, ovulation will take in place, best chance of a contraception. Day 15 to 16, possibly to conceive. And day 17 to 28, the wall become thick and they are unlike to conceive. Now the next part is implantation, fertilization, and even insemination. Very serious mode and very easy pathway. Coitus will happen, mating. Semen will transfer where? To vagina. Reaches to the isthmus ampullary junction, where already the ovum is waiting. When ovum fuse, when ovum meet to the sperm, it fuse, but the fusion will take in place like this. First of all, sperm release the acrosome. Acrosome break down the outer layer. As you already know, that outer layer is made up of, is called as a zona pellucida. This zona pellucida is broken down by acrosome release, and the nucleus of a sperm fuses with the nucleus of a ovum and form a zygote which is diploid. Now the cleavage will happen because the inside differentiation will happening. It creates a cell called as a blastomere. Blastomere form morula. Morula form a gastrula. Gastrula form a blastocyst, and blastocyst going to attach to the uterine wall. Now the implantation is over and attached to the uterine wall. Now where implantation is happening outside inside the uterus, the lining is endometrium. So embryonic development will happen. Because the villi present in the outside layer of a trophoblast means uterine wall plus maternal blood is also present in that one, and it make the placenta, because placenta release four hormone: HCG, HPL, estrogen and progesterone. Now it attach the fetus, and there the umbilical cord is formed which transport the oxygen and food. Now, what happens at the time of the embryonic development? In the third week, notochord is formed. As you already know, it becomes a spinal cord in future. Now, the fourth week, a heart is formed. The fifth week, ear, liver, pancreas, spleen, gallbladder is developing. Now, the sixth week, eyes, nose, leg, hand, stomach, kidney. Seventh week, lungs, lymphatic system, primary sex organ develop. Eighth week, external ear appears. Hair also appears. After that, the part 6 parturition. There is a reflex happening called as a fetal ejaculation reflex. Due to this, oxytocin is released, as you already know. Oxytocin released, the outside myometrium contract relax. Milk production happening during mammary glands. Dilation. First process is dilation. Fluid comes out, amniotic fluid. 6 to 12 hours fetus move. Fetus movement is occur, means fetus moving down. Then the expulsion is occur. 20 minutes to 1 hour it will takes place, labor pain. Relaxin release, umbilical cord is going to be cut. Baby born. Now placental stage. 10 to 45 minutes. Blood vessels will torn out, released out. Uterus normally takes 28 to 45 days. That time the uterus become normal, and at that time menstrual cycle is not happening. Birth of a baby. Congratulations. So this is the parturition. Now extra knowledge, some extra knowledge. Sperm actually secrete a protein called as an anti-fertilizing, and ovum secrete a protein called as fertilization. Because of that, agglutination will happen and fusion takes place. Now sperm release a sperm lysine which actually penetrate the ovum, zona pellucida layer. Now extra embryonic membrane is which is present outside the baby. First one is chorion. It protect the embryo. Amnion absorb the shock. Allantois join the blood vessels to placenta, and yolk sac actually form a body. Now the stages: fertilization, form a zygote, embryo 2-celled, embryo 4-celled, embryo 8-celled, now become morula. Here the cell is there. Blastocele is inside, trophoblast is outside, inner cell mass is inside, which become early gastrula, then become a gastrula, 4 week, 10 week, fetus ready to birth. So this is the stage. Easy, pause the video, see the diagram, write it, underform, and if any type of the correction is going to be happen, you have to rectify me in my comments section. So definitely like, share, subscribe, and also share some type of the students which are mostly trying to use these notes. Most important question: why the human test is located outside the abdominal cavity? Name the pouch they are present. Number second, name and state the function of interstitial cells present in the human testis. Very important. Name the male accessory gland in human and write their function. The fourth one, describe the duct system of a human reproductive male part and mention their function. Fifth one, write the location, function of myometrium and endometrium. Now the sixth question, label the diagram of a male and female reproductive organs. जरूर देख लेना, very important. Describe the location and characteristic of different parts of a fallopian tube in human female, isthmus, ampulla, infundibulum, whatever it is. Difference between spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis. Even spermiation is also happening. Explain the hormonal control of spermatogenesis in human and name the three parts of a human sperm. Already confused now? Now, there is a diagrammatic section view of a human seminiferous tubule and label which cell is undergo spermiogenesis, which cell is nourished the male gametes, and which cell undergo meiosis 1 and 2. Simple cycle you have to understood. Now differentiate between follicular phase and luteal phase. One thing, if a couple is trying to conceive and start a family, then if the woman period which is regular is scheduled to be start at July 19, what is the estimate date of ovulation for the previous cycle? So ovulation 14 days back, July 5. List the different part of a human oviduct through which the ovum travels and meet the sperm for fertilization. Now the 15th question. Name the embryonic stage that get implanted in human female. Now 16. There are three hormones produced in the woman only during pregnancy. Write the three function of placenta in human female. Write the three function of placenta in human female. What are the major features of embryonic development at various months of pregnancy? Already all months I will dictate here. Describe the process of parturition. Parturition is actually the fifth portion. And medically, it is advised to all the young mothers that breastfeeding is best for the newborn babies. Do you agree? Give reason why the milk is preferred to the young babies. So this video is actually a big video right now. I'm going to so big. So thank you. Have a nice day. Enjoy and enjoy the video also and learn it clearly. And this video I put it at 31st of this 12 as you already mentioned here in the videos section and PDF section. This PDF I'll tell you, I'll send it to you, this PDF at a second of 2025. And I wish you a very happy new year, a very happy new year 2025. I wish that this year gives you a lot much of happiness and even a breakthrough result. And all the best for your success. Drop this, conceive this, adapt this, learn this, and attack on the paper. CBSE board, you have to crack it as it is as soon. I will definitely send the questions and answer soon, very soon. I will send the questions and answer, and the answer will also in the PDF format. So join my channel and you will understood and get a result very soon. Thank you. Have a nice day.